Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Bands A to Z. Yes, we have arrived on P. I know in yesterday's show I kind of seemed like I was ready to skip over P and Q and go right to R. That's my excitement for R coming through. But today, we can't forget about P, right? So we're doing the show each and every day throughout the month of July, taking us through A through Z. We're almost done, right? We're on the latter quarter, I guess, latter third, letter P. Another good letter, right? So if it's a band, it's the first letter. If it's an artist, it's the first letter of their last name. So I think today's number one choice was fairly easy, for the most part. The runner-up was a little more difficult, but I think I had a good handle on this. So let's start with the winner. So obviously, no surprise to anybody. My favorite pick has got to be the mighty Pink Floyd. Okay, and if you know me, you know Animals is by far my favorite Pink Floyd album. Love this album to death. This, to me, is the band at its most epic. I know some people will say, but The Wall is even more epic. For me, The Wall, I'm not as big a fan of The Wall as a lot of people seem to be. For me, it's a little overblown. To me, got a lot of greatness on it, but I think I would have liked The Wall a little more condensed. And I find Animals just to be the height of their just songwriting prowess, playing. I mean, the playing on this album is phenomenal. Man, Gilmour is just on fire on this album. The whole band, such great keyboard textures, great riffs and solos. The bass playing, the vocals from both Waters and Gilmour, just awesome on here. The drumming. Pig on a Wing, starting it off, part one and part two, bookending the album, and then of course the middle part is just absolutely killer. Dogs is amazing. Pigs, 3 different ones, and Sheep. I love the moods, I love the textures. It's a creepy album, but it flows really, really nicely. Sonically, it's just amazing. It's hard to, when you look at like Echoes, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and even if you want to include The Wall in that, hard to deny that burst of creativity from this band. And whether you want to call them a progressive rock band or a psychedelic band or just a plain old rock band, they kind of do all three. There's no denying that Pink Floyd are one of the greats of all time, and Animals is the winner for me. So as far as the runner-up goes, I mean, that's a different story, right? So here you got a lot of bands, a lot of artists, Jean-Luc Ponty, Procol Harum, Pantera, Primal Fear, The Police, right? A lot of really good acts, and many, many more, right? There's many others. I'm not going to mention them all. But when it came down to it, I have a real soft spot here, right here, for a classic doom band from the Washington, D.C., Virginia area, known as Pentagram. I'm going to pick Day of Reckoning as my favorite album from Pentagram. This is a bulldozer of an album, bulldozer of a band. It's crazy when you think about just how far back Pentagram goes. Everybody cites Black Sabbath, rightfully so, as the first doom band. But, Pentagram came about not long after that. Pentagram were way before bands like Candlemass and Trouble and, Cathedral and St. Vitus. I mean, these guys were doing it before. The early stuff is great, fuzzy, bluesy, heavy rock, and then they turn into a total doom band. Day of Reckoning is one of many very strong albums from this band. You got Bobby Liebling on vocals and Victor Griffin on huge, gargantuan, behemoth, brontosaurus riffs. Just a tremendous band. So many great albums. They were doing lots of... Before they even released their first official album, they were touring regularly, recorded all sorts of demos, and then, we would see a flood of releases from them throughout the 80s, even though they were playing in the early 70s, late 70s. And then they've had some stops and starts over the ways. Bobby Liebling has had a very kind of troubled life, a lot of substance abuse. So there's been a lot of kind of roadblocks on the way to Pentagram's world domination of the doom metal subgenre. But if you look back and listen to some of their great albums, and they've got a bunch of them, greatness, absolute greatness, some of the best doom metal you will ever hear. But even like the early stuff, it's doom metal, but there's a lot of, if you like really, really heavy, bluesy, heavy rock with lots of fuzz and distortion. come to the right place. Wah wah guitar solos. You've come to the right place. Very original vocals. You've come to the right place. So check it out. Pentagram, Day of Reckoning is my runner-up for today. But of course, the spotlight on P has got to go to Pink Floyd. Picking Animals today. Pentagram, my runner-up. So curious to see what you guys think and what you come up with. So list your favorite band or artist for P below and your favorite album and also your runner-up. And tomorrow we will move on to Q. We'll get to R at the end of the week, right? So Friday is R. R is going to be a fun day, I think. So, but let's not discount Q because it's got two great bands for tomorrow. Tomorrow was pretty easy. Q was pretty easy for me. I think most of you probably know which direction I'm going. But stay tuned for that and more. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. Should have a couple of new product reviews for you today. I'm hoping to get to the new 10 Years After Live album. We've got the new Troubled Horse, and I do want to review because I just finished it, Martin Popoff's third and final book on Rush. All right, and I'm like plowing through the Uriah Heep book of his as well, so I'll have that for you next week. So stay tuned for all that and more on the channel. Tomorrow we've got the Monsters Den. Friday, Mr. Popoff himself will be on the channel, so stay tuned for that. And we'll get a couple review shows coming up for you this weekend. Stephen Reed will be back on the channel with me. We're going to be ranking the catalog of British progressive rock act Frost, as well as, what is the other one we're doing? Oh yeah, Poland's progressive metal juggernauts Riverside. So that's coming up, and I hope to do one more for you this weekend as well. I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be, but I got a couple that I've been cooking on. So it's either going to be Wobbler or the Crusaders, one or the other. And then I've got some other ones in the works. I want to do the Keith Hartley Band, In Flames, all sorts of stuff happening in the weeks ahead. So stay tuned for all that and more. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. Thanks for your subscriptions. Click on the notification bell if you want to make a channel donation. The link to our Ko-Fi page is below, as well as the link to our merch page, and seatranquility.org, which has now been on the internet 20 years this year. So thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.